Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia, if you didn't already know, and for today's video we are going to be talking about human psychology. Now, I do not have any degrees, so you can take everything I say with a grain of salt. The furthest I've gone with professional human psychology is Carl Jung, and following in his footsteps and what he went through and when he was alive and what he has written down. And I really relate with his philosophy. So I'm just going to be talking a little bit about that. For the specifics I'm going to be talking about in this video is a realm that I've personally experienced, and you can say that all the information that I have is from personal experience and also Carl Jung, and just reading and listening a lot to podcasts of his books and other people's takes on his philosophy. Now, I would confidently say that I have been a people pleaser in the past, and it has gotten me into some deep stuff. I wouldn't say that I wanted to let people walk all over me, but that is how humans are. Humans are just going to human. If you don't show people boundaries, they will do whatever they want. That's just how it is. Now, Carl Jung talks about the path of individuation and how a lot of human behavior is really caught up in gaining something from another, whether that be validation, attention, having their needs met. It's all based on reason, like why people do the things that they do. And you can say my people pleasing in the past was an attempt to make people like me, to have more friends, to make me seem more sociable. Like that big group of friends that everybody else has, I thought that me lessening myself, which is essentially what people pleasing is, lessening myself and giving more of myself to others, was me trying to gain something, right? With that being said, I have written just a short page just to provoke some thoughts within people. Maybe you have experienced being a people pleaser as well, or you're just suffering from something that you feel as though you are trying to grab at people's attention, grab at people's acceptance or validation, and you don't really feel like yourself, which is really just a sad feeling. It's a pitiful feeling. And no one likes feeling like they are lessening themselves. So I just wanted to read this little tidbit, and I wanted to provoke some thought, and please comment down below what you think of it and your experience, if you have ever experienced something like this before. Okay, I'm going to be looking at the side because this is where I have it written, and this is authentically me and how I felt. I wrote this actually a couple months ago, and I titled this Compassion Fatigue, and I feel like that definitely aligns with people pleasing, compassion fatigue. Anyway, hold on. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to be reading my little tidbit, and I want to just provoke some thought and see what you guys think. And if you have any stories in the comments down below, I would gladly read them, and maybe we can start some rapport. Okay? I haven't always been this way, but maybe, deep down, I've known about my intrinsic nature all along. I've been burned by the past betrayals of my own nature. Those acts have led me down many roads that ultimately forced me to finally listen and submit to myself. I remember when I used to think that the most important thing for me to focus on was how to make other people happy. Now, a great deal of people can relate to this statement. This statement comes with loads of yeses and a sense of emptiness. This emptiness is confusing because you feel that you are doing all the right things. Some people believe it's best to heed to every call and demand that someone has asked of you, and over time you begin to feel like an unpaid employee. Over time, you start to grow tired, perhaps even irritable, from the requests that others have placed upon you. Suddenly, you are questioning how these people would fare without your assistance. Would they absolutely crumble of their own volition? Maybe, but you are growing too tired to care. You start to reflect on all of the things that you have accomplished on your own and think to yourself, what is hindering their independence? And soon after, am I a part of the problem? Shame, anger, guilt, and exhaustion all start to cloud your vision. All of a sudden, you are mentally demonizing this person as well as feeling that shame every time you think in such a way. You forget or are naive to the fact that there is actually a way out. You become aware of what you have to do, but you are not prepared for what the other side looks and feels like. Will I have these people in my life still if I say no? How will I deal with the backlash if I receive it? Am I being selfish? The inner turmoil has thus begun. This next tidbit I named it The Battle Within, because it really is an inner battle. It doesn't, people like to point fingers and project blame onto the other person when they themselves are letting these things happen. So, for instance, a child is playing around with a plate and banging it on the table. They keep telling the child to stop banging the plate on the table, stop, but they're not doing anything about it, and the child keeps banging the plate on the table. A person with solid boundaries would take the plate away from the child even though they know that child is probably going to cry because they want to just play or whatever, but it is disruptive and rude and annoying. So people without any boundaries would just let them keep banging that plate on the table, but a person with boundaries would take away that plate and let them sit with their discomfort, and that'll be that. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I said it anyway. Anyway, this next part is called The Battle Within, and I don't think I'm going to read everything because I haven't finished it yet, and I haven't read it over in a long time, but I think I just want to get it out. Okay, you've grown comfortable with the chaos that has consumed your outer and inner reality. You lie to yourself and say that you are okay with the way things are, that nothing needs to change. You say that, yet you are always anxious. You say that, yet you are slowly building resentment towards the very people you say you love, unbeknownst to them. You are uncomfortable with these feelings, yet you are not ready nor willing to deal with these issues, silently wishing they would just disappear like an ostrich sticking its head in the sand. You begin wishful thinking. Certainly this won't last forever. Maybe they will find other avenues of assistance, eager beavers interested in winning their love. This correlates not only to interpersonal relationships, but also your traditional job. After a while, you begin to think that people generally do not care about your well-being. This is a projection. What lies beneath that notion is the fact that you do not care about your own well-being. It's always easier to believe that it is someone else's fault. Blame is comforting for those that want to stay in their not-so-comfortable bubble without realizing they are about to start an unnecessary war. Not only with themselves, but also with the people in their lives. We could avoid these emotional confrontations if only we were able to sit back and ascertain our own needs and adhere to the boundaries those needs would entail. So with all that being said, you guys, I really hope that this provoked some thought, and hopefully you're asking more questions about yourself, because ultimately that is my goal. I want people to meet themselves as deeply as I've met myself so far, thus far, because I mean, I'm only so young. So I just want people to be doing the work so that people are less miserable. Nobody likes miserable people. Let's make the world a brighter place. And that starts with you and you doing the inner work. You meeting yourself and saying, where did I go wrong? Where am I not being accountable? How can I do better? All right? And remember, guys, life is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to have the answers overnight. God, this took me a while. This took me a while, and I'm still always learning. So don't feel like you have to rush anything, but just take some time for yourself and really just take and sit with yourself alone and ask yourself questions. Simple as that. And if any feelings arrive, that's okay. We're all human. All right? Peace and love. Hope you have a good day.